The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy
West
stuff.
side Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Overlooking the West Virginian countryside that John Denver made famous, you're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's live as it happens coverage of Formula Neagle for the Skip Barber Open Wheelers, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginners League and brought to you by the good folks at 4MS Network Solutions. In just under a quarter hour, the green flag will wave here at Summit Point Raceway, letting loose a swarm of angry skippies buzzing into turn 1 right-hander, kicking off round 2 of this 8-race campaign. So sit back, settle in, because 45 minutes of intense sim racing is on tap. Hello everyone, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soupzon. Filling in for our resident Skippy aficionado, Joe Peak, is the always informative Sean Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director and reigning MX5 World Tour Deca-Season champion, Amjad Yaman, and at his disposal will be camera locations provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, Dougie Beard. Sean, the opening round for Season 7 picked right up where Season 6 led off, with the speed from Zawad, Tuan Tran of 2B1 Racing back on the highest podium. Team Bushfinks Racing, Johan Halberg, came up just a little short and had to settle for second, with Johan Vandeveld of Team Talent filling the final podium. A record field was chock full of first-time drivers, and we have another one here today, some of those certain to become household names before the season crowns its champion. But before we learn more about the drivers behind the wheel, let's talk a little bit about the track that will be under the wheels. Sean, tell us about Summit Point.
Bill, I certainly will. Summit Point Raceway, Motorsports Park, if you will. Opened in 1970, thereabouts. Been here for a long time, obviously. 45 years of history on the Summit Point main circuit. 10 turns, 2 miles, 2,900 feet down that front straightaway. And as we were observing during the pre-race, the pit road exit is actually before the start-finish line. So if you need that last splash, which I don't think you will today, you can get it and still win the race. Possibly. We'll see. You got the carousel in 6 and 7, but I'll tell you what, to help you get a better idea what it's like to get a Skippy around this track, let's throw it to Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Skip Barber, and we'll take a look at that now.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Skippy, so let's do a lap around Summit Point. Coming across the start-finish line, it's a nice long run to turn 1. This is pretty blatantly your best place for an overtake on the track. Long straight braking zone, tight corner, it's about as inviting as it gets. Just make sure and spot your brake marker so that you don't outbrake yourself. With the increasing radius on the exit of the turn, you'll want to get the car lined up so understeer will be the enemy in terms of setup. Power down and keep the car over to the right to set yourself up for 3. This turn is a little off camber and it's got a pretty blind crest, so it's mostly going to be a single file affair through here. You'll see a lot of guys pushing the limits though and kicking up dirt by just glancing that gravel to the right. Now just aim for the left and then it's a bit of a lift through 4. After that, throw out the anchor for 5. The wild entry to this hairpin has caused it the nickname Yard Sale Corner for the way the first lap melees leave cars scattered across the infield. Here's where the more technical section of the track begins though. There's a lot of low and medium speed turns with no time to rest between each apex. As you approach the S's, it's going to be critical to line the car up right and set yourself up for each subsequent corner. The last and most important of them will be turn 9, which dumps you onto the backstretch. If you sacrifice your speed on the exit, any car close behind will be ready to pounce before you hit turn 10. This is a potential place for a pass, but it's tricky. It's only a light brush on the brakes, so you need to be fully alongside your opponent. But with it leading back on the main straight, the most important thing will be carrying your speed off the corner and applying the gas as soon as you can. If you got it all right, you finished a lap around Summit Point.
And Amjad Yaman doing a great job in the Skippy, getting it around this track here at Summit Point. Let's go ahead now and take a second to look at the standings. Now, we have two standings to work on. We're going to do the driver standings and the team standings as well. We talked about Tran and Hallberg and Vanderbilt taking the podium, so logically, those guys sit in the top 3 spots in the standing. Now Wojtek Podolak sits 7 points back of the leaders, with Ricard Allard rounding out the top 5. Allard is a rookie to this season, making his first appearance last race. Now, going to the team championships, Tran and Bastian Huisman have a 2v1 racing way out in front with 30 points. Now, Podolak and Vincent Bream have 2 Stupid Dogs 12 point back. Now, on the tail of 2 Stupid Dogs is Team Bushfink, populated by Hallberg and Allard. So you can see there those with Bushfink, then Blue 14 back, and then Team Talent 15 back. So a close battle there for second, third, and fourth, all in a close battle. But that top team, way out in front, the team of Tran and Huisman, doing really well. Now, Sean, let's talk a little bit about the rules, the specific rules for this series, because every series that GSRC covers, each series has their own specific rules. Talk about this one.
Well, yeah, sure. Now, the Absolute Beginners, they run 2 formats. They run an endurance format, and they run this 45-minute format that we're going to run today. They will need 1 pit stop. They only run 65% fuel, so that's going to be a factor when you need to take that. Will everybody come in together, or we'll see guys try to keep that car out there as long as possible and maybe short that stint there at the end. But with a 45-minute length of race, obviously that decision's going to be critical, because there's not a lot of time to work there, and not a lot of time to make up. There's no fast repair. Man, it's blistering hot on the track right now, Bill. It's 108 degrees track surface. It's only 73 degrees and partly cloudy, but it is warm on the track. These tires will get greasy. And now the track state was only 20% coming in, but they put an hour of practice down. So probably a few marbles out there on the outside, and rubber's starting to be laid down. But they'll probably get about 15, 17 laps in, and those tires will start to free up. The fuel load will get lighter. Could be a problem, so we'll have to see. But as far as the rules in this series, I'm sorry, I lost my place there for a second, Bill.
Well, there are no fast repairs. That's one of the things. I don't know if we mentioned that before.
Yeah, I got that in no fast repairs. Again, it's a 45-minute race, and they will need that one pit stop. Qualifying on the board right now.
There's some excitement going on. Get those people out of the press box here.
Yeah, somebody jumped into the press. Sorry about that. Yeah,
lock the door there.
Yeah, it looks like right now we're going to have close to 40 cars start this race. Maybe 38 is what I'm looking at. So far, 33 have taken time. Newcomer to the series, Aero Nam, sitting at the top of the board right now, Bill, with a 121.360.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about the weather here. Now, the temperature was cool. Actually, it was about 70. It was under 80 degrees. But so much of the track temperature, which is what really makes the difference when it comes to traction, is really based on with the cloud layer. And with it only partly cloudy, a clear sky or partly cloudy, really heats up the track. So it really doesn't matter the temperature, the ambient temperature, whether you're going to put a jacket on or be in your T-shirt, not as really as important for the racing as much as that cloud cover. Now, this is one of the tracks that is free content, so a lot of the drivers have spent some time on this one, especially this is the Absolute Beginner League. Now, viewers shouldn't be confused by that or misled by the name of that. What it is meant, the Absolute Beginners League is titled that specifically to invite new drivers in, and these veterans will help them out. But what happens in a series becomes more popular, and this one certainly is becoming more popular because it's on GSRC, and the Skippy is an incredibly fun car to drive now. All of a sudden, this has really attracted some top talent that we talked about before. Now, Tran is really fast, and that's somebody to keep an eye on. He's your last season champion. But what you mentioned there before is this guy sitting right now at the top of the qualifying charts of his stands, Euro Gnome. He is something else from Estonia. He should be somebody to keep an eye on. Pierce Cocky is up there, too. He had trouble last race when he ran out of fuel. Now, Sean, one of the things, as a newcomer, and I'm talent challenged on this one, I have trouble for that turn 5, setting up after that little right-hander on 4. Where do you think some of the trouble areas might be on this track?
Well, you said it right there. Turn 5 is definitely a trouble area. Setting up for that carousel is really tricky got to be on point getting through there. You've got to get the line just right. If you don't, you're going to run off coming out of 5, and there's no place to really run off to except the wall. So that definitely could be a trouble spot. Hey, the battle down into turn 1 to start this race. Everybody, keep your eyes open and your head on a swivel, because turn 1 is going to back up quick with this many cars. If you're towards the back, you're just probably going to crawl down to 1 and let it all just unfold in front of you. But again, the battle into 1 will be there and persistent all race. Those are your 2 really big trouble spots.
Real quick, Sean, as they begin to grid, why don't you make your Peaks pick for the podium here as we have to announce the grid coming up here real quick.
Well, with Joe on assignment, it's fallen to me to either curse or bless the top 3 here tonight and or today. And you know what? Give me the fan belt, Johan Vandervelde. And while I'm at it, I think this newcomer might have a little something. We'll go with Euro Nam. And I'll throw a little, let's see, number 3. How about Bastian Wiesmann?
Wiesmann is good. Okay, let's run over the top qualifiers here. Nam is on front. Pierce Cocky is going to be the outside of row 1. Tuan Tran and Johannes Blix make up row 2. Johan Hallberg and Johan Vandervelde in the 3rd row. Joachim Lundgren in the 7th position. JJ Rimmer, a newcomer, in 8th spot. Bastian Wiesmann in 9th. Adrian Garcia Cruz in 10th. Ricard Allard in 11th position. 12th is Mikael Engstrom. 13th, Neil Bamber. Behind him, Benjamin Hackison. Martin Galenicki, and behind him, James Stacy. Daryl Atkins, Frederick Neptune, David Burns, Vincent Bream, Lauren Murray, Ricky Green make up into the 22nd position. Matisse Van Denden in 23rd spot. Ricard Colomb in 24th. Andy Morgan, Liam Quinn, Mark Figueres, Stephen Paul. As I get through all these guys, Stephen Schmidt, Andrew Justice, Edgar Chandonelli, Julian Ward, Jeff Reeder, Damian Noble, Markel Siddell, Adrian Bradshaw. The green flag is up. We're going to jump to the front now. A few drivers in the back that we didn't get to. Keep an eye on your pole sitter. Iro Nam sitting out in front from Estonia in the blue machine. Looks like he gets a good jump. Tran with a bad start now, being challenged by 3rd position. Looks like making a move on the inside for 3rd. Cocky and Tran going side by side as they go into 3rd. They go around the first corner. Everybody is clean. We'll keep an eye as they go through. Very clean all the way through to the back of the field. Looks like everyone's getting through clean, Sean.
Yeah, everybody all the way through to the back. Everybody has made it through turn 1 and 2 clean. And now here they go into 3. Get ready to set up for that turn 5 and 4 and 5 to set up for the carousel. Can they make it through there clean? They're starting to spread out, actually, all the way to the back, Bill. Not a lot of side-by-side racing left here at this point.
Nicely done. Let's set the field up in front. It's Nam. Now, Pierce Cocky has been able to hold on to that 2nd position. Tran running in 3rd, your last race winner and last season champion. Jonas Blixt in 4th position, being pressured by Johan Hallberg, last race runner-up. In 6th spot, Vandervelde running in 6th. Behind him, Joachim Lundgren in 7th. The final 3 spots in the top 10, JJ Rimmer. And a battle for 10th right now, Wiesmann being challenged by Allard.
Yes, he is, and they are picking it up here. That's quite a race here in the early stages of this race.
And Cruz actually moves into 9th position. A great battle going on as we're looking back at the back. Cruz in a battle now, making a move on the inside is Wiesmann. And now peeking on the inside of him is the 3rd car. Great battles. They head down into that first corner. Wiesmann goes a little bit wide. Look, they're 2 by 2 behind him. Cruz in that light-colored car.
Trying to
Ricard Allard now,
wide.
3 wide. They got to get this settled up before they get into 4 and 5. Allard will have the position there, but nope, they're going to get that taken care of as they go through the kink left-hander. Oh, so Wiesmann gets a little bit loose and slows down the drivers behind him. It's 2 by 2 behind him. Let's see if they can settle down, boys. You got 45 minutes to get this taken care of. Don't need to decide it right here.
Everybody playing nice so far, minding their P's and Q's, trying to take care of the car right now, obviously. Still trying to maybe get the heat up a little bit in those tires. Looking a little squirrely in spots. Oh, Garcia off the track. Or no, that wasn't Garcia, but right next to him, the car got a little wide. Richard Allard made his way off the track there. Got 2 wheels off, but manages to recover the number 74 machine. And he is on the chase, trying to catch up to Garcia now.
Yeah, we've been on this battle here for 10th. We'll run it down for you. That's Wiesman out in front in 9th. Looks like he's cleared these guys a little bit. Cruz, Allard behind him. Neil Bamber, a new guy, now making a peek on the inside is Mikhail Engstrom for 13th position. We're going to go up to the lead now as we have a battle.
Aeronam fighting for it. He's got Cocky right there with him. And they are side by side.
Now, Nam's going to have the inside position here as they go through this left-hander. And that's going to be sorted out. Look at that battle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars all in a row here. We didn't talk about the draft very much, but it looks like that maybe... Oh, a great little tap in the back there. All the way in the back of the field, making a move on the outside. It's Vanderbilt back there being challenged by Blixt. Lundgren on the back there making a move. 6th position, 5th position back there. Vanderbilt, the last 3 cars in the chain. Vanderbilt, Blixt, and Lundgren.
Look like a big gator snaking through the carousel there, those top 7 nose to tail. And you talked about draft. You're definitely going to get that long straightaway down into 1. You will see these guys pull that NASCAR-style slingshot out from each other. We expect to see a lot of that during this 45-minute race.
Let's see what happens here. As all the drivers are pretty well spaced out now as they head down into 1. Nobody going to make a move on the draft yet. Look at the defensive line that Noam is taking. Can't be drifting out too far there. He's drifting out in front of Cocky. Cocky's not going to be too much a fan of that. If you take that inside line, you really kind of have to hold it. Noam didn't drift all the way out there, but he kind of eased his way over. In the IndyCar series, they call that the Sam Hornish drift, where you take that inside line and you kind of slowly move over.
Yeah, speaking of drifting, did you see that right there? Pierce Cocky hanging it out there, drifting his way through the turn. Behind him, Tuan Tran is trying to make up the ground right now. A little hard on the brakes right there, and he's got Johan Hallberg right on his tail. This fight is a good one right now, Bill. A real good one here up at the front of the race.
It's a great 7-car train, and not too far back now, making a move in there. J.J. Rimmer, the first-time driver, running an 8th, trying to get on to the back of Lundgren there to make it an 8-car train. Rimmer, the caboose right now, a little bit off the... Got to get linked up there. Look at that battle, though. 7 cars running in rows. They're going to try this one more time down the straight this time, Sean. Let's see what Cocky does this time. He has a much better corner exit than he did last time.
Yes, he did, and that makes a big difference when you're trying to get up to somebody and slingshot around him like we talked about. He's trying to make that move on the outside right now. Here we go,
Again,
down into 1. Can he pull it off?
Numb taking that.
Stay with him.
Yeah, Numb taking that very defensive inside tight line to make sure that Cocky doesn't get inside him right away on corner exit. Then he drifts over a little bit, getting real close, and I hear there's a little bit of contact here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. We got a car off. It's Lauren Murray is off back in 24th position. We're going to go to a replay right now. Sean, maybe you can tell us what you see here on that one while I look at the leaders.
Pulling up the replay here now. Let's see what we got. But it looks like Lauren had a little bit of trouble. Heading down into 1. Oh, somebody missed a shift. Yeah, might have blown an engine right there. I think maybe we missed a shift and might have gone all the way down to 1 or something under a high rev situation, and it looks like he may have tanked the motor, and with no fast repair, that's going to end his day.
Meanwhile, the battle up front now is about a 5-car battle, but they're still holding station. We got to give a hats off here to these drivers. What a great job of racing. This is a big field. How many cars? 39, 40 cars made it here. It was all they could. This has a small grid size, so you can only put so many. 36 cars took the grid. Everyone very clean so far. Great racing. Now a battle for 3rd right now. Again, making a move on the outside is Tran defending halfway, kind of make that car as wide as he can. Hallberg looking to go around the outside. He's going to lose momentum now. And peeking in, there's Vanderbilt looking at 5th. Hallberg being challenged by Vanderbilt. A pair of Johans going at it.
Yeah, a pair of Johans going at it indeed. the fan belt making his way up through this field. He did start sixth. Now he's into fifth. Here we are, just almost 10 minutes into the race, and you can tell this is a very competitive group, because usually the fan belt would have found his way to the front already. But Eero Nam doing a really good job of locking that down right now, and as you said before, seems to make that narrow little skippy pretty wide when he gets down to the turn to suit his need.
We're going to jump back real quick and just touch base back here at ninth position. We talked about it early. Look back here. It's still a great battle with Wiesman and Cruz going at it there. Allard right behind them in a great battle, three-way battle. So there's fighting going all the way on. Bamber back in 12th and 13th for Ingstrom. Great battling going on. Meanwhile, up in front, drivers seem to be holding station.
Yes, he is.
Actually, no, he's going to take a peek. Now, look, Noam didn't take the defensive line that time.
No,
now you have a pass for the lead. He left the inside open, didn't he? And it looks like Cocky's going to get that spot. Noam fighting back, though. They're going to go
the door.
Too wide into the corner, a little bumpy going behind them. They go into the corner at 10:55. They come out at noon. They're still side by side as now they head into this left-hand kink. Who's going to have the advantage here as they go in? They're going to still say side by side, but the momentum's going to be for the car on the outside, but he takes it right into the dirt, but the sand is not very loose here. You can still get a good bite out there, and it looks like Cocky is going to take over the lead. A new leader now with Nam into second, Tran watching from the popcorn position in third.
Tell you what, Hallberg and Vanderbilt are battling right now. They were side by side for a half a lap. Little bit of contact, both still under power and very much in this hunt. Tell you who's got the best seat. Lundgren, Joaquin Lundgren in the number 64. He has the best seat in the house right now. Watching these four up in front of them battle. He's still a contender and not having to fight too hard for it. He's just got to pay attention and stay out of the way.
Yeah, and you know, with these drivers so close, I think so much of this. What do you see?
Was that Pierce Cocky was off the track?
Yeah, and a pass for the lead now. He's going to, it's a pass for fourth position as we're taking a look here at Hallberg making a move on Vanderbilt. And back up to the lead, Noam has made a pass for the lead on Cocky.
He giveth and he taketh away. That puts Tuan Tran into the mix. He got right there to the wing of now second place, Pierce Cocky. And he's trying to set up Cocky for a move now.
I think there's a lot of testing going on here, a lot of feeling out for how they're going to get this done. What we can watch, though, is it doesn't look like the drivers are able to make the pass before the start-finish line. So I don't think they're going to be able to wait till the last corner to do this if they're looking to slingshot. They're going to get that done earlier. Meanwhile, your leader now, Tran, running in third position. And the other driver has Cocky in front with Noam there. Noam in front, followed by Cocky.
Okay, this battle is insane for 9th, 10th, 11th place. We got Garcia Cruz battling right now to just hang on to 9th place right in front of him in 8th. Allard took the 9th spot away from... I'm losing my place. Allard takes the spot away from Garcia. They're still battling, though. And Bastian Wiesman right there following, trying to get himself into position to make a move on those two. They were four cars all side by side there for about a third of a lap.
Yeah,
And
you can look at battle. You can look at him serpentine down the straightaway trying to break the draft. What a great battle going on there. Allard in 10th there, and River in that battle as well.
I mean, side by side, all the way through the turn, almost locking wheels up. Incredible patience and skill being shown here right now, all throughout the field. But this battle here for 10th place, Garcia Cruz there almost loses the car, makes a little bit of contact. It goes, I'm sorry, that was Allard. I'm getting my cars mixed up again. That was Allard in the number 74 machine. Almost lost it, was off track, manages to keep pace and stay with Garcia Cruz, but now making a move to the inside. Oh, couldn't do it. Had to back off. Yeah, another turn was coming.
Yeah, there's fighting.
Neil Bamber was trying to get into it there.
Yeah, Bamber's working his way up now. Bamber up into 11th position, but these guys are fighting all the way. Bamber now with losing touch with a little bit of a bad exit Bastian Wiesman back there in 12th position, and Mikael Ingstrom in the 13th spot. As that battle goes on, you see Ingstrom in that blue and yellow car bringing up the tail of that battle. Meanwhile, let's jump back up in front because we'll see if they're still in the same position they were before. Yep. Oh, we're looking at a battle now. There goes Vanderbilt. It's a battle there. Vanderbilt and Hallberg going at it. The battle of the Johans. You can see Vanderbilt in front now in 4th position. Hallberg going to tuck back in behind. Now, right behind them is Joachim Lundgren and then Jonas Blix. So there's a battle, 4-car battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Well, Bill, we've had several cars have to bring it in so far. Stephen Paul, just another casualty. He is done for the day. Lauren Murray, we know he blew that motor. Jeffrey Belk is back on track, but 5 laps down. He had trouble early. Richard Cullum, he is out of the race. Went ahead and disconnected. I believe he had trouble right there at the start. But those 4 are definitely confirmed off the track right now and no longer in the event. So that's a little bit of attrition here early, but I say early, there's only 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes to go.
Now, looking now at a battle here with the Hallbergs going at Hallberg. Oh, Hallberg has gone into the pits. Now, this could be the beginning. Blixt is in the pits as well. Am I correct? Nope. Looks like, nope, it's Blixt is staying out. So Hallberg has come in.
Yeah, Allard is in also. The pit stops are starting to fall. Engstrom came in. So those three are in. Hallberg, Allard, and Engstrom. We've also got, we talked about Stephen Paul, Lauren Murray. Jeffrey Belk is back on track now. And they are off. Engstrom's out. Allard's out. Hallberg is out.
Now, the pit window should be pretty wide here. These guys have a 65% fuel. It should be a pretty big pit window, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Noam and Cocky and Tran maybe run this as long as they can. Maybe when they start to get into traffic, that might be when they want to make a pit stop. But what we'll want to do is keep an eye on the distance now between these guys who've come in and made that early stop. Make sure that they don't snake us here. Sometimes that can happen. They drop back to 14th, 15th position. We lose track of them, and all of a sudden when the pit cycle happens, we find that they are out in front. So we'll keep an eye on those guys. Hallberg is really going to be the driver in the top position of all the cars who have pitted so far, I believe.
That is correct. He is. In fact, he is. Hallberg is the leader of that group. He had actually a very short pit stop, only 21.7 seconds down the lane, 9.3 seconds in the stop. Everybody else around him about a second or 2 seconds worse than that. So Hallberg definitely having a good stop. Frederick Neptune's in. David Burns is in now. Lots of cars getting ready to set up and make those pit stops now.
Now, when we talked about pit stops, so we can go back up to our leader, maybe put the cameras here on Pierce Cocky. Pierce Cocky was having a race, last race, but again, it's all about fuel calculations, and he miscalculated. He actually had to make a second pit stop. Actually didn't make the second pit stop. Just kind of had to limp the car home when he ran out of gas. Cost him about 5 positions, dropping him from 5th to 10th position. A sad case for him. A very competitive driver in Season 6, having a little hard time of it in Season 7, but doing well today. Much more his familiar position, running up there in 2nd position. Eric Noem, still our leader. Those two drivers are beginning to distance themselves a little bit from Tran now, who's fallen back a little bit, about 0.7 of a second back, and is about to lose the toe here if he gets any farther back.
I think Tran's going to be just fine. He's just setting up, waiting for the pit stop. We'll see him get on the gas after he gets in.
Oh, here's a pass for the lead. As Cocky's going to take a peek on the inside, and I think that Noam said, almost turned into him there.
Okay, well, Joaquin Lundgren just took it away from Johan Vanderbilt, got on the inside into 1, and moves ahead of him, takes that 5th position.
Yeah, we really have a 3-car train up in front there of Cocky, Noam, and Tran, and then quite a ways back behind Tran. It's about almost 2.5 seconds back to Lundgren. And look at this battle now. Lundgren and Vanderbilt still going at it.
Yeah, they are. Vanderbilt trying to get the position back, and right now, Joaquin Lundgren will have none of it. He's making that little Skippy just as wide as he can, and he cannot get around. Vanderbilt really having trouble making the pass. It's allowed Jonas Blix to get back into the picture and fight with those two.
Now, in a driver that these Scandinavian drivers will appreciate, what I call in the Thor Heyerdahl position here. J.J. Rimmer, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. That was Vanderbilt coming off for the pit stop real quick there. He just took a hard right-hand turn in the pit. The fan belt is in.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's put the cameras real quick on J.J. Rimmer, currently running in 6th position. Oh, we got another battle for the lead. Sorry, J.J. Bad up there, and it looks like there it is. Noam has taken over the spot again on Cocky. Those guys are doing a lot of practicing. I think they're working on where they're going to get this done. Of course, it's a lot easier when the drivers have decided now to stop taking that defensive line. They're kind of surrendering the position. Let's wait when the gets a little closer to the checker flag and see as they take that tighter line into turn 1. It's going to be a little harder to get that done. Meanwhile, those 3 cars are still up in front. Just to follow up on what I was talking about, J.J. Rimmer, kind of a man between continents in the Thor Heyerdahl position. He's not near any shore, currently running in 6th position, getting a tow from nobody, but having a great race for his first time in the series.
Yeah, definitely having a great race for sure. There's a lot of cars behind him that have a lot of work to do if they have any chance of catching. In fact, most of this field does. You get outside the top 10, everybody 20 seconds back. Again, a lot of work to be done now. Pit strategy and cycling is going to rectify a lot of this. But remember, some of these guys put down a really fast pit stop, so you're going to have to get in. Wow, what a move right there!
Goodness.
As I'm talking, Pierce Cocky.
All the way.
Well, no, that wasn't Cocky. That was Ironam. They both have blue cars, Bill. It's killing me.
Those guys up in front are putting on quite a show. Hey, I want to follow up on this as we can. Hallberg is still, I'm going to call him our leader of all the cars who've pitted. Hallberg got out in front of, I believe, Vanderbilt. Yes, I believe he did. Yeah, Hallberg has about a 1.3 second lead on Vanderbilt. So those are your drivers who are in the lead of all the cars who have pitted. Meanwhile, the excitement up front is really nonstop there with Noam, Cocky, and Tran.
Yeah, Tran won't go away. I told you that. He's gonna stay in that mix for the whole race, and he, he's holding the form right now. He's being very, very patient, taking very good care of the car. Hasn't really raced with anybody yet. He's just kind of followed. He's just waiting. Yep. He's waiting to pounce, man. It must be that Jedi thing he's got going there, Bill.
My dad used to say he's sitting vigil like a cemetery dog at his master's grave. But eventually that dog's going to get hungry and is going to have to eat. So I don't know how long Tran can just sit there keeping an eye on those guys up front. Probably maybe wait till the pit stop cycle. Wait till the pit stops are done. We don't know what Earl Noam can do. We know that he has a I rating that's out of this world. But we don't know what experience he has doing the pit stops. He's beginning now to pull away a little bit.
He has opened up a little bit of distance, and right now having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic. He's got Andy Morgan in his sights. He's going to have to get around Andy, and that could help him out a little bit. Maybe open up a little bit more distance between him and Pierce right now. And good job by Andy. He just lets him right by, and he also lets Pierce right by as well. And here comes Tuan Tran.
On the camera before we went there, we saw Johan Blix makes that move around Jochen Lundgren. So Blix has now moved up into 4th position, 5th position to Lundgren. Of course, both those cars still have to make a pit. Rimmer running in 6th position all by himself. 7th position is still that battle between Cruz and Wiesman that has been going on for most of the race. It's settled down a little bit, but again, those drivers still have to make a pit. It's all a question of who can get in and out faster before Hallberg. The distance, Sean, between our leader, Noon to Hallberg right now is 24 seconds. Boy, that's going to be close. Hallberg could be back there putting in some pretty good laps. He has got nobody in front of him right now.
Well, tell you what, the pit delta is about, it's just right at about 30 seconds, maybe a little less, a little more, depending on how quickly you get in and you get off. But that is going to be awful close.
We're looking at Noam now. He's beginning to put a little bit of distance. I'm not sure, maybe Cocky's just relaxing a bit. are just waiting for the pit stops. Maybe doesn't need to be battling. It's hard to imagine that those guys could battle that hard for 45 minutes without it ending in tears. So, oh, look at Cocky. It's so loose going through 3. Had that thing sideways, had it drifting and put it into the sand. Luckily, that sand does not slow you down so much, but that must have been fun for Tron Tran to get an eyeful of that. Cocky really does, I think, traction here, Sean. I'm not in the car, but from what I'm looking at, boy, it feels like it must be like ice, I thought, from these guys.
Yeah, well, I talked about it. We were getting set up for this thing at 108 degrees. These small tires, hot. It's just it's time. We got cars going off the track now that haven't pitted yet. I think that was, it looks like that was Jonas Blix. That was Jonas Blix that got off course. He slowed down.
And J.J. Rimmer has spun the car. We talked about him before having a great race. He's got loose in that same corner that we saw Cocky had trouble on, going through 3. Maybe we can get it here. We'll see if we can find it. Might have been a ways back. We'll see if we can get J.J. there.
Yeah,
he looped it around.
I thought we were going to see a replay. Yeah, the replay's coming up now here, Bill. We'll see that on screen for everybody to take a look at. Looking at J.J. Rimmer right there.
Yeah, it might have been a ways back. Here he is in 9th position. Yeah, I think that's is showing on the replay on that. We'll see if we can get it farther back. Here we got it.
Yeah, there we go. Now he's going around right there. Right in the middle of the track. A couple of cars actually able to miss him. And we almost had a catastrophe there, right? He spun right in the middle of the track. You see him coming off the turn, heading through the carousel right there, and he's coming off, and car looks pretty good here so far, and he gets a couple of tires off into the grass.
Now the distance back again, and I'm giving this because this is important. The distance back to Hallberg is 24 seconds. I wish I wrote down what I said before. Seems like, there's a car as we were looking at the leaders, a car pulling itself off onto the grass. It's Votek Podozak has pulled himself, running in 27th position. Votek must have had some problems earlier. In fact, you can look at the front of his car. Maybe we can get it on Votek. Maybe he just had some incidents. Maybe we can find it. Let me see if I can find it here.
Well, he's coming in. He's bringing it back in the pit.
Yeah, the right front suspension was bent far to the right, so obviously he had found some incidents.
Yeah, that car is not in good shape right now. He's in the pit, and that's going to need a lot of repair. He's going to be in there for a while.
It's really fun if you can watch a series over several seasons. You can see as it becomes more popular, the drivers that were the cream of the crop are now struggling to be the curds and whey. As the new drivers come in, look at Pierce Cocky and these guys. Tron Tran has seemed to weather the storm pretty well with this new influx of talent. Still running in 3rd. Battle for the lead, still up there. The same 3 drivers now. They've settled down. Lundgren running all by himself now. Has put some distance between him and Blixt in 5th. We saw that battle. In fact, Blixt is now being, that's a lap car that Blixt is being chased upon.
I can confirm that Wojciech Podacek is out of the car.
And as sad as we are for all the fans in Poland, that's one of the beauties of a no fast repair race. As an announcer, and I think as a race fan as well, it takes something away when there's an incident and they can come back out. Fast repairs are great when you're looking at 2.5 hours because none of us like to announce a 2.5-hour race with only 3 cars left in it. But for a short sprint list like this, it makes everything important. When you make a mistake, it really costs you. So our condolences to all the fans in Poland for Wojciech's troubles he had today.
Okay, Bill, so the top 10 have not come in for a pit yet. Vincent Brem just takes the position away from... Oh, there we go. J.J. Rimmer is coming in. He was in 10th place, and that's why Vincent Brem got around him. But J.J. Rim, the first of the top 10 to come on in, that'll slide Johan Hallberg and Johan Veleba back into the top 10. And Mark Figueres is in as well.
And that's actually a battle we should keep an eye on back there because it could be for the lead. Maybe we can go back to 10th position real quick. Hallberg, the battle for the Johans has carried over, and it's maybe not for 4th and 5th like it was before. Now it's for 10th and 11th, but as soon as everybody makes their pit stop, that could be a battle for the lead right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. The distance is still about 24 seconds. It's going to be really exciting when these leaders come in. What we'll try to do is follow the leaders and then keep an eye on Hallberg and see who can get out first. Hallberg right now being held up by that lap car in front of him. Ooh, it looks like that is it's for position.
No, that is for position. That's Vincent Graham, who's still on the track.
It's
in ninth place.
Right, it's fourth position, but it's really not fourth position because Bream has got to get out of the way. He still has to make that pit stop. This is killing those Johans. They need to be running hot laps right now. They can't afford to be held up, and now he's going to make the move on Bream.
Yeah, the move has been made, and here comes Vandenbeld. He's going to have to wait as they get into the turn. Going to have to set it up here on the straight. Vincent Bream still racing pretty hard, to be honest with you. You know, again, it's still his position to race, even though he hasn't taken that pit stop yet.
Exactly. He does not realize. It's not like he's getting shown the blue flag. That's for position. And honestly, he doesn't know why those guys are behind him. I mean, he could probably have a pretty good idea that they've made their pit stops, but for all he knows, they've had spins that he passed them while they were on the grass. So he doesn't need to give up that position. Meanwhile, out in front, it's still Euro Gnome doing great. He has about a 1.5 second lead now over Pierce Cocky, who's still being stalked by Tuan Tran, holding that third position. You know, Tran could be back there saving fuel. They all start with the same amount of fuel. They all have the same size gas tank, but Tran could be burning less fuel behind that car, meaning that he'll have to take less. Maybe when it comes down to every 1/10 of a second, that could be what's the difference between him being in third place or first place.
I think that's the strategy being played up front right now. Let's keep him out there as long as we can and just get a few gallons in the tank to make it to the end. Keep the car light and fast, and working through traffic again. Liam Quinn sitting in 25th place, being passed by Tuan Tran and Piers Cocky, Euronam. So these guys now having to fight through traffic to stay with each other, and it seems like the real winner, our leader still, Euronam.
Now that battle that Hallberg had with Brim, that's going to cost him. That dropped him about a second. There was about a 24.5 second gap between him and the leader. Now it's about 25.5. And a second is quite a bit of distance here when these cars are going to this speed. That's probably, maybe a quarter of a straightaway. So it's going to be a big difference there. We're looking at that battle right now there with Vandenbeld trying to get around the lap car. Let's see if I can figure out who that is. Oh, he's got it. Oh, that's for position right. Oh, that's the battle. Yes, that's still Vandenbeld in there in that position with Hallberg and Brim. So Vandenbeld, Vandenbeld has gotten around. I see what our director is telling me. Vandenbeld has made the move, gotten around Hallberg now. So Vandenbeld up into ninth spot, 25, almost 26 seconds behind the leader. Vandenbeld really sliding that car around. Meanwhile, the leaders are still staying out. Excuse me, one more time. Go ahead, son.
I just wanted to find out what happened to J.J. Rimmer after his pit stop. He's slid all the way back to 18th, battling with David Burns right now. Great side-by-side battle they had for a moment. J.J. comes out the winner, and now Martin Glenicki manages to get around David Burns also. Good little three-car battle they had going, but J.J. Rimmer continuing his recovery here, trying to get back up towards the front where he had been battling in that top 10. Got a lot of cars to get through to do it, and currently looks to be about, I'd say, a good solid 13 to 14 seconds to make up.
Yeah, Rimmer was up to 6th, then he had that spin, dropped him down to 10th, and he went into the pits, and now he's back there about 18th or 19th. You know, we talked about that. It's his first time in here. He may not be familiar with how to do a pit stop, how much fuel to take, how to get into the pit quickly, get out pit quickly. You don't have to wait for the car to fill up to the increment that iRacing has set. You can hit the space bar and stop that earlier. A lot of these guys have special software programs that tells them just to the ounce how much fuel they need, as we're on that battle right now with Reneke. Looking at Martin Glenicki there in 16th position.
Yeah, almost contact there. Glenicki over the wing.
Right on the tail of Rimmer. Pass for P2 as we're looking up here, and as we see it here, is Tuan Tran going to make a move? Nope. Yes, he has. Tuan Tran has got the position.
He's made it. The pass has been completed. The very patient, lurking, waiting in the wings, hunter in the rye, whatever you want to call it. He has been waiting to make that move. He's got it. Now he's got to get himself to Euronam or just get himself to the pit stop. But Tuan Tran has turned up the wick and is on it now, baby.
Yeah, what that tells me is Tran is ready to make the stop. He's done saving fuel. He's out there. He's going to actually now he's beginning to distance himself between Pierce Cocky. You know, he might have been looking at the gap between Cocky and Noam is saying, I can't sit back here any longer. If you're not going to be able to hold pace with Noam, I got to go. And that's what's happened. Meanwhile, our leader now is in first. He's got a lap car ahead of him there of Edgar Sancinelli. Sancinelli takes a nice, easy move on the inside, and Noam's going to be able to get around him. Let's see here, with 12 minutes to go, Sean, they've got to be coming into the pits pretty soon. Sancinelli does, but the leader stays out. Let's see what these other guys do.
Cocky's in, yep.
Oh, and he's held up.
He got slowed down. Oh, no.
Yeah, that was Sancinelli that we just saw coming in there, who was the leaders had just gotten around, so he lost some position there. Let's get a good indication. Maybe we can go ahead now. Let's stay on Cocky for a minute, see if we can find Vanderbilt, and that'll give us an indication if Vanderbilt has a shot. Vanderbilt is really doing well. He's just coming around turn 10 right now, so I believe he's going to get out. Vanderbilt on the main straight. Cocky, has he started to roll yet? Cocky just coming out right now.
Yep, just leaving it, and they get around at Vanderbilt and Hallberg
and Hallberg,
Vincent Brim, and Vincent Brim also.
Hallberg made the pass on Vanderbilt, and as we say that, Vanderbilt now making the pass back on Cocky. So there's the battle right now, but keep in mind that those guys, Vanderbilt and Hallberg, got out ahead of Cocky, and Cocky was not that far behind the leaders. So that, like we had talked about, that Vanderbilt, that battle, the Johan and Johan battle, that could be a battle for the lead.
I'm wondering what Brim's play is here. He's got a pit. He hasn't come in yet. It's obviously going to cost him. Once he pits, he's going to fall outside the top 10, at least we think, because the top 7 still have not come in yet, Bill.
Oh, the leaders go around one more time. Now, I'll be interesting, and hopefully we can find out during the post-race interview if these guys are taking tires. I'm not sure if they can actually get that done with the little amount of fuel they have to take. Those tires might cost them. I wonder, though, if Hallberg and Vanderbilt took fresh rubber and maybe are running faster lap times than the leaders are. Let's get a distance gap here between Noam, who's out in front, back to Hallberg right now. Oh, it's up to 27 seconds.
Yeah.
So the leaders are distancing themselves, Sean.
Yeah, they really are, and they're starting to put themselves close to a comfortable position. We talked about that delta being somewhere around 30 seconds, maybe a little bit less. If I'm got my calculation right here, no tires, you're still going to need about 5 or 6 seconds for fuel. So maybe a 25-second delta, but they're running out of time quickly. Now we hit the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes left in this race right now. But if we can use that pit stop of Pierce Cocky as a measuring stick, as we're looking, Noam is off in the grass right now. Let's see if we can get back to our leader. That final corner as they go down the long straight in fact, Noam is coming in. Noam is making the stop. Tran's going to stay out. So here comes Noam in from the lead. We'll follow him, and we'll see if we can pick up Vanderbilt where he is. Vanderbilt is still in the S's right now. Hasn't gone down that long back straight yet. Yeah, he's closing, but that's it. Let's see, Noam's still in the pit. 6.3, 7.3, 8.3. Ooh, that was a long pit for Noam, but he is away. That was 11-second stop.
Okay, the Johans are just out of the final 10th corner there, so it looks like our Noam is going to get out in front of them.
Yeah, but
easily.
Noam still lost about 2 seconds to those guys in the pit. They had done their stop about 2 seconds quicker, so
meanwhile,
a little bit of help.
You can see in the back there as our director gets the camera on it. These guys are swapping positions again. Vanderbilt and Hallberg. I'm not so sure that these guys, that the Johans haven't decided that maybe they can save some time by lapping each other each time, by passing each other using the slingshot down that front straight every time. They seem to be doing it so easy. Right now they're caught up behind Andrew Justice, that lap car there. There go the Johans. Justice going to pull over, and both Johans get by him. Meanwhile, your leader is still Tuan Tran with Joachim Lundgren in second place, but he hasn't come in yet. Jonas Blix is yet to pit, and Bastian Wiesmann hasn't come in yet. Neil Bamber up into the 5th position also hasn't come in. Your leader of all the cars who have pitted was the leader so far of Euro Noom.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if Tuan is going to have enough time. Noam is only 23, just over 23 seconds behind. That is going to be so close. That is going to be a great one to watch as soon. Neil Bamber just came in. Neil Bamber is in the pit, making his way down. That was one of the cars we were waiting on to make a move. There are only 5 cars left that have not taken a pit stop, and those are Tuan Tran, Joaquin Lundgren, Jonas Blixt, Bastian Huisman, and Vincent Brim.
22 cars still on the lead lap with Ricky Green and Mark Friguris being in 21st and 22nd position with 7.5 minutes to go. Tran, I've seen him do some fuel mileage races before. There's no way he can go the distance here on one stop. He's got to come in soon. But one of the things, Sean, is the longer he runs, the more precise he can be on how much fuel he needs to take. If he knows he only has to go another 7 minutes, he's got to come in this time. Let's keep the cameras on him. It's got to be pit stop time for him. No, it is not. He's going to go around once more. Yeah, I think what happened was Julian Ward was coming in front of him, and Tran said, I can't afford to do it. So let's hope he has enough fuel to go ahead one more time. Has Lundgren come in? Yes, Lundgren is in from second position.
Yeah, Lundgren and Blixt are both in. Bastian Huisman's still sitting out there on the track. So is Vincent Brim. You know, we mentioned that when I was talking about the track itself with the pit stop exit being before the start-finish line. Possibly? Could they? Would they? Bill? Are we in for that?
He could come in on the white flag lap, get enough fuel to go an extra 70 yards.
Vincent Brim is in, so that's it. It leaves Tuan Tran and Bastian Huisman in. They are still on track.
Okay, look at this battle here between the Johans. They're at it again, side by side. Cialis Baptubs as they exit corner one. Now that's Vanderbilt on the outside there. Hallberg behind them now. Hallberg's going to surrender the position.
All right, I'm watching our leader. I really want to see what he's going to do. I mean, honestly, Bastian Huisman is 19 seconds behind Tuan Tran. And I think Tuan is it looks like he's slowed down a little bit. He's soft-shoeing it just a bit. No, I take that back. His last lap was his fastest lap. And he's still on track. Did not come in the pits.
It's 23 seconds back, that last lap. 23 seconds back to Nome. That is doable. 23 seconds is doable. Especially since everyone only needs the same amount of fuel when they come in. They start with the same, they need the same. But he knows exactly how much he needs to go 5 minutes.
Okay, here's the deal. Timing and scoring right now showing me we've got less than 5 laps left. Is there any way Tran can manage to stay on track for 3 more laps?
Actually, could he slow down? He could actually maybe slow down and make it one less lap if he times the start-finish line. He has that 19 seconds to play with. I don't think he can go the distance. They got this figured out. How much can you save running behind?
Or at least we thought they had it figured out, Bill.
Well, we know we talked about him being the cemetery dog there, sitting back behind those guys, saving fuel. The distance is 23.7 seconds from Tran to Nome. 4.5 minutes to go. Lap times. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm on edge trying to. All right, here comes Tran. Tran is in. I'm going to watch Tran here real quickly. It's got to be just fuel. I can't imagine that car is going to go up for tires.
Meanwhile, we'll get it right now. Nome is back. This is almost the same position that Hallberg was in when I picked him up last time. He was just coming out of the S's. He's not till the final corner yet. So Tran's got a shot. Tran's not rolling yet.
Tran's away.
Nome just exiting the final corner. Tran is out on the track first, and will he have the momentum? I think so. He's definitely out in front. Can he get that little Mazda engine revved up? He's got it. He has jumped him.
He was a full second faster in the pit than Nome, and that might be all he needed. But Nome coming quick down there in the closing laps, Bill. Just under 3 laps left to go.
Oh, Nome flew into that corner, was so late on braking, made up a ton of space now. With just about over 3 minutes to go. We're going to stay on this race right here for most of the way. Nome seems to be a little bit faster, seems to be a little more comfortable. Tran might be having his time, trying to get his rhythm back now. I don't think he changed tires. You can see that Nome is easing him. Look at under braking. It's Nome really has closed the distance now. We're on board with Nome, looking at his prey ahead of him. Tran is feeling pressured. The car's slippery as they're driving on ice. Oh, Sean, it's going to be close now as they go through the S's. I wonder if Nome's going to try to do it next time through after they get to this final corner.
Well, does the newcomer really want to rattle the old dog's cage? I don't know. We're about to find out in the closing laps here. Just over 2 laps to go. The minutes are winding down quickly. Man, what a race this has been. Nome was showing the way most of this race, but Tuan Tran with an opportunity here, heading down into 1. Nome all over his tail, in his gearbox practically. Now he's on the left side of him. Tran's going to have the inside going into 1. Nome gets past him.
Tran, yep. But he didn't. He wasn't able to close the door. Tran took that inside line. Nome wasn't able to finish the deal as they go through 1. Now they're side by side as they go now into 2. This little left-hander. Nome's going to have the position. Tran's going to be on the outside. He's going to have to surrender it, but he's going to get a better corner exit. Look at the exit that Tran gets. Now he can able to make the move. Nome takes the defensive line as they go down into the right-hander that's coming up, but no one was able to outbreak him, but he goes a little bit wide. Now they go into this left-hander with the S's coming up. Tran has to surrender his position, but he tucks back in behind him again. Nome and Tran, nose to tail, with 1.5 minutes to go. This is not going to be the white flag lap, but I think they're going to get 1 more lap after this one. Tran might want to wait. I think if he's going to have to get it done, Sean, I think he's going to have to do it this time around the main straightaway because he's not going to get that main straight again. Tran losing momentum, though, on a bad corner exit as they go down the back straight. Tran's going to need a great corner exit as they go through 10. This is where he's going to want to get it done. We'll see what kind of defensive line Nome tapes as they go through corner exit of 10. Tran with a pretty good run gets a little bit of the left tires onto the sand. Look at Nome. He's taking the tires all the way down to the right-hand side. Tran gobbling it up. We see from behind. Tran's going to have to duck to the outside. Nome is forced to take the inside line. They go side by side into 1. Nome's going to have the inside position. Tran noses his up into the lead. No, but Nome is going to be able to hold the position. They almost make contact. Tran has to surrender. Now he's back in the second spot. That might have been the last chance to get it done. Maybe he can get it done after the S is down the backstage, Sean.
Hallberg and Vanderbilt fighting. I'm watching that battle, Bill. Hallberg just made an incredible move to get around Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt trying to get it back right now.
Sorry to interrupt.
You take the
Here comes Tran now making a move, but Nome is going to take the preferred position into each corner. Look at Tran now looking for a good corner exit through 5. Hallberg takes that inside line. He's not going to get a great corner exit, but it's hard to make a pass here through the exit. Tran all over Nome, looking for some way to go. Nome making that car as wide as he can. Nome and Tran, 1 and 2. Nome from Estonia, Tran from Holland. The 2 drivers from Europe going at it. Now they go through that final corner that sets up the long back straight. There's just 1 more corner to go. Tran is about 2 car lengths back. He's still about 2 car lengths back. He's scooting forward in his chair. Now he's about 1.5 car lengths back. They go to the final corner, looking to get a good exit run. Is he going to have enough time before the start-finish line? No, I'm holding the outside line. Tran, I don't think he's going to get there. Tran dips to the inside. Where's the start-finish? Here comes Tran. No! It's Nome by 1/2 car length. Tran in second. The battle for third goes to Hallberg in fourth.
Yes. Yeah, at fourth, Johan Vanderbilt in fourth. Hallberg makes a next to last lap pass and makes it stick, Bill. That was a great battle between those two. 2 really good battles right up there at the front of the race.
Lundgren, Cocky, Blixt, and Cruz going to finish the top 10 there. We'll see if we can find a battle here as they finish up their last race. We're going to go down to 14th position. Looking at a battle here is that James Stacy we're looking at. Battle here with Stacy, J.J. Rimmer, who we saw, and also in that battle is David Burns bringing up. Oh, they're done as they cross the start-finish line there. I couldn't find my spot. Down to 17th, we're looking at Matisse Van Delden.
Frederick Neptune. Yep. And it looks like Van Delden's going to get that 17th finish, and Neptune follows behind with an 18th.
Sean, we're going to go to break, but we talked about it during the race. The positioning of that start-finish line just wasn't enough room for Tran. A similar finish that we saw in the first race of the season where there wasn't enough room. If Tran had another 200 yards, he might have got that victory. Okay, very exciting race. These interviews are going to be very important. We have some great questions to find out what's going on from these drivers, how their race went. We're going to take a short break, watch the slideshow for upcoming events. We'll be back for the total rundown of the field, interviews, and of course the post-race plugs. And Jill Peak isn't here, so there's no telling what'll happen if I'm let unleashed. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the post-race show on GSRC of the Autobahn Series Formula Neagle for the the absolute beginners. Sorry, I got a little dizzy there from lack of oxygen to the brain. Hopefully my cardiologist was not watching that broadcast there. So they're going to have to put a pulse meter on me to make sure everything's okay. Boy, that was exciting. Let's run down these final standings here, Sean. At the top, the newcomer in swapping positions back and forth was able to do the pit strategy, was challenged by last season's champion for the win. Great, exciting finish. Congratulations goes to Errol Nome from Estonia. From Holland, Tuan Tran in second place. Johan Hallberg takes over the third position. In fourth position, the other Johan van de Belde. The spot 5 goes to Joachim Lundgren. In sixth is Piers Cocky. Seventh position goes to Jonas Blixt. In the snowman spot, it goes to Adrian Garcia Cruz. The ninth position goes to Bastian Wiesmann. And rounding out the top 10, it's Ricard Allard. Sean?
Yes, and in 11th, Benjamin Haxon. Neil Bamber, 12th place today. Coming from 20th place, Vincent Brem makes that late pit strategy work out okay for him. He finishes 13th. James Stacy, 14th. JJ Rimmer, first appearance here with us, but not a bad effort. Probably wanted a little bit better. He finishes 15th. David Burns in 16th. Let's see. Manas van Delden in 17th, Frederick Neptune in 18th, Mark Figueres in 19th, and rounding out the top 20, Bill, Ricky Green.
And congratulations to Frederick Neptune. For I understand, they found another planet for him, so he'll have some company out there. They've yet to name it. Maybe they can name it Frederick. Okay, in the blackjack position, it goes to Daryl Atkins. 22nd position goes to Liam Quinn. Jeff Reeder in 23rd. And the double dozen spot goes to Stefan Schmidt. 25th to Gianni Raspaldo. Edgar Sanchinelli, we saw him make a quick pit stop there at the end. 26th position, 1 lap down. All these drivers 1 lap down. 27th and 28th goes to Julian Ward and Mikael Ingströms, respectively. 29th and 30th goes to Martin Galenecki and Andrew Justice in 30th. Sean?
Okay, and I'll take it home here. Andy Morgan finishes 11 laps down in 31st. Wojciech Podacek blew a motor, I think, if I remember correctly. He finishes 36th. Jeffrey Belk, I saw him come on and say he in fact blew one too, so he finishes 33rd. Stephen Paul, tough day for him, 34th. Lauren Murray, someone else who blew a motor today, 35th in 36th. And the last car that actually took time, that was B36, and that was Richard Collum, and I don't believe he got off the starting grid, actually.
No, and now they pay points all the way down to 15th, so J.J. Rimmer's the last car to get a single point, so congratulations on that as he came in 15th position, got that single point, and all the drivers ahead of him will get a little higher than that. So we'll do the points for you next week. Let's go ahead and do interviews now for you. We're going to bring in our race winner from Estonia, Errol Nome. Errol, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's start off as you're new to the series and new to my pronunciation. Let's hear the proper pronunciation of both your first and last name.
My first name is Eero, and my last name actually is Num.
Noom. I don't think we missed it by that much. I think we did a pretty good job of that. Well, congratulations on the win. Let's go right to it. How did you feel out there? Let's start at the early parts of the race. You were kind of swapping positions back there with Cocky for the lead. Taking a defensive line early, then taking the outside line, kind of surrendering position. What was your thinking in the early part of the race?
Yeah, the first I hoped to break away, but there was too much draft. So the safest place, I think, is in the front. That's why I defended in the first laps. But then I wanted to see what the others will do with the draft.
Now, you ran it pretty dry, not as dry as Tuan Tran, my goodness. We were wondering if he was actually ever going to come in. Do you have much experience in pit stops in other series?
Yeah, I have. But I used more fuel in the front, and Tuan was able to save a lot of fuel.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what we figured. He was sitting back there being light on the throttle there. He got out in front of you from that pit stop. Were you worried about getting around him, and then were you worried about where you're going to defend him as he was trying to make the move for the lead?
No, I wasn't worried. I know I can pass him. But the defending on the last lap, that was very close. And I made little mistake in the last corner, but still managed to win.
Yeah, we felt pretty confident because of the positioning of the start-finish line. If that start-finish line was down closer to quarter one, it might have been a different story, but it's certainly hard to make that pass on the final lap coming out of 10, isn't it?
Yeah. But it was close because I made little mistake in the last corner. I got sideways.
Well, before I let you go, it was great to see you race here. What is your prognosis? What is your plans for this series? Are you going to be able to be a regular participant and make it a challenge for the championship, or are you going to kind of do it on a one-off or two-off or part-time basis?
I will do as many as I can.
Well, we certainly hope to see you again in the next race. A pleasure having you. Congratulations on your first race and your first win in the Absolute Beginner League.
Thank you.
Aero Gnome, your winner from Estonia. Sean, have you tracked down anybody? Have you caught anybody down there in pit lane?
In fact, I have. I've caught up with Johan Vanderbilt, as we've nicknamed him, the Fan Belt. Johan, man, those last few laps there, that battle with Hallberg, that was a good one. What did it feel like in the cockpit?
Very, very exciting. Johan was smart, to be honest, because I was looking at the amount of laps that we had left, and I thought 3 laps before the end, like, okay, if he overtakes me the next lap, then I can overtake him in the last lap, and then I can probably stay in front of him until the end. But then 2 laps before the end, he decided to stay behind me, and then I felt like, oh dear, now I have to defend against him in the last lap, and I knew that would be very difficult because the draft was so strong. So he passed me, and I did everything I could to pass him in the last lap. I tried even in turn 4 in the little kink before turn 5, but yeah, he was just too quick. It was really tense. It was really exciting, but good stuff.
Yeah, it really was, and it seems like, honestly, most of the time you spent on the track today was in a battle. It's only a 45-minute race, but that's still got to be just exhausting by the end, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. I'm really happy it's not a 70-minute race because I don't know if I can handle that.
You don't think you could have held on for that, huh? Well, no, I'll tell you what, that was that was a really great run. Hate to see you lose out on a podium finish, but it was certainly one of the better battles we saw all day. There was the battle up front, but the battle that you were having with Vanderbilt was certainly a great one to watch. What I have to ask, going into this race, only 45 minutes and only 65% of fuel. What is the fuel strategy?
It's difficult to say. You start with a full tank. I think everybody does, and because there's 65%, you only need to put in really little fuel. I think this race it was 2.3 liters, so not a lot. So after 5-6 laps, you can already come in and do your pit strategy. So when Johan Hallberg came in after we lost the draft to the top 3, I asked my teammate, hey, where's Johan? Where is he driving? What's the gap around him? And then I heard that he was driving in a gap. So I was thinking and trying to see if I could close the gap to the top 3, but I couldn't. So then I made a decision myself to also make a pit stop to try to draft forward with Johan. And in the end, it succeeded because we passed Piers. But yeah, the fuel strategy is because we have such a high percentage cap is really flexible. Like you can go a lot of ways when you decide to make a pit stop.
And as far as tires go, in this 45-minute race, the track temperature was 108 degrees. Did the tires get pretty greasy out there at some point?
Yeah, it was very warm. We had practice sessions throughout the week, but it hasn't been that warm in any of those. But no, the tires were good to handle. At least mine. I don't know if the other guys ran under pressure, but they're okay. And you don't have to change these tires at a pit stop. So the outlap and the laps after that, it's not like you have to heat up your tires again. Like you can immediately continue with the pace that you had before your pit stop.
Well, hey, congratulations on a great race and a great battle. You put on a great show. You and Johan Hallberg put on a great show for everyone today. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again for coming in with us today.
See you then, guys.
And that was Johan Vandenbelt, your 4th place finisher. Bill caught up with Neil Bamber.
I do. Our 12th place finisher. We can get him real quick because we're running a little long here. Neil, congratulations on finishing in the dozen and getting some points today.
Yeah, evening, guys. Yeah, thanks very much. It's my first race in this league. I enjoyed it.
Boy, there was battling going all along through the field. We tried to get a little bit of you. You had some tight battles that you were in for a lot of the race.
Yeah, that's right. I had Mikhail behind us for quite a while, and then he pitted quite early, and I was just managing to keep on to the back of Bastian till I lost the toe when he was quicker. I had no chance of keeping up then.
Can we expect to see you back in future races, or is this a one-off thing?
No, I'm planning on doing all the rest of the season.
Outstanding. Well, we will make sure to keep an eye on you. Congratulations on 12th place finish, and we will see you next time in the Skippy, okay?
Cheers, fellas. Bye now.
Thank you. Neil Bamber, our 3rd place finisher, and I'm going to have a hard time not nicknaming that guy Bambi. Sean, I don't know if I can control myself. We'll see. I don't think he's going to like it.
We better get him to sign off on that one, Bill.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, we're gonna wrap this up here. Before we go, I'm going to ask you a question. How's your network, buddy? Your network good?
My network is great, baby. It's great.
Okay, well then you probably will not need the services of 4MS Network Solutions. They're the sponsor of this, and they help get this on the TV. So I want all you guys who have network problems. I know Joe Peak is having horrible network problems. He uses like spaghetti and stuff. This is awful. 4MS Network Solutions, they were founded in 2007, and they are an IB communications and network service company with global reach, not just like your neighborhood. They got global reach. 4MS designs, installs, supports its clients' infrastructure, both on and offshore. And I imagine if you had like on the space station, they could take care of you there too. In any country, it's teamed up with Cisco certified engineers. And the kids at Cisco are friends of mine. And 4MS is a premier partner and provides IT hardware sales, carrier service, and a full complement of professional services for the Cisco lifestyle. So remember, 4MS Network Solution Limited, making your network better, stronger, faster. Sing this jingle, that's what I say. And also, thanks to the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use for the broadcast, none of which I know anything about. I do know that Yaman just ordered up a psychodefibrillator, which has me a little nervous. I'm not sure what that does, but it doesn't sound good. The original music you heard today on the broadcast is thanks to Eric Uckelm and Casey Lalonde. And this music is not just for the broadcast use. Let me tell you, last night my wife was getting that certain look in her eye, so I slipped in my 8-track cassette of Marvin Gaye, and after 4 decades of reliable service, the dang thing snapped. So what's a guy to do? Quickly, I switched to my digital copy of Lalonde's Floating Room, and let me tell you, well, I can't tell you, but if you'd like to know about what it's like to have some good music available for you for emergencies, go to the addresses that are on the screen right there right now. Thanks to my mic mates, Sean Ambrose, our director Amjad Yam, and Dougie Beard for his camera locations. And if you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is to go to Global Sim Racing Channel, along with archived races and race highlights. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at the Global Sim Racing Channel. Forgan Nagel returns in 2 weeks for a romantic Valentine's Day visit to the origami pretzel that is Suzuka. Up next, though, is the PAX Pacific Majors that I'm going to be broadcasting as well. That's going to be from Daytona Beach, and you won't have missed that. They're using this cool Predator format where they send the slower cars out first, then the faster cars, and the really fast cars come out about 10 minutes later, and if everything works out great, they all meet at the start-finish line at the end. Boy, it's exciting. So let me tell you, you don't want to miss that one later tonight. But now that all the housekeeping is done, for everybody here at the Golden State Rottweiler Club, I'd like to wish everyone a happy day. And until we see you next time, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. Race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.